Some won't see my visions, and most don't want my guidance. So as a little youngin', I learned how to speak with violence to get a pure reaction. My passion never lacking, and if they never get on board, you gotta send them packing. Just so you can take flight, we grind and used to break night. And when you elevate and it grows hard.
Welcome to Camden Strong, a podcast about power, resilience, and rebirth, in a place that knows struggle and strength better than most. Camden, New Jersey. They used to call us forgotten, written off, just another broken city on the map. But Camden was never just another city. We were the workshop of America, ships built strong on the Delaware, the hum of RCA Victor, where music met machines. Walt Whitman walked these streets and called us invincible, and he wasn't wrong. Yeah, we've taken hits. Industry vanished, corruption bled us dry, and poverty moved in like a storm that overstayed its welcome. Headlines painted us in shadows, in crime stats, and abandoned lots. They missed the heartbeat, though. They missed the fight, because underneath the noise, Camden never stopped moving. Today, we are rewriting the story. New schools, local leaders rising, entrepreneurs turning blight into businesses, artists taking back the streets, and the kids are dreaming even louder. This city, we don't run from our past. We build on it. We rise with it. This is Camden. Not a comeback, a rebirth. Not perfect, but powerful. Still standing. Still rising, still invincible. This is Camden Strong. Let's talk about it. I'm your host, Tameeka Mason, and I am super excited to bring truth to power, which makes us progress. And so before we jump into today's episode, I gotta introduce my partner in purpose, a man who needs no introduction in Camden's nightlife and business circles, but we're gonna give him his flowers anyway. He's a businessman, an entrepreneur, an advocate for the culture, a connector, a visionary, and most of all, someone who's deeply invested in this city. Famously known as the owner of Caribbean Mega Center, Jose Marrero took his Dominican roots and poured them into Camden soil. And what grew was legacy. From building nightlife experiences that put Camden on the map, to mentoring young entrepreneurs and giving back to the block, Jose don't just talk it, he lives it. Whether he's running a business or standing up for the community, he brings passion, pride, and power into every room he steps in. A native of Dominican Republic, but Camden is where his heart beats. And on this mic, as my co-host, he's bringing insight, energy, and the real. Welcome, my co-host, my dear friend, Jose Marrero. Let's get to it. You like my introduction?
Yes, my name is Jose Marrero.
Did you like my introduction first?
Oh, beautiful.
Just jumping.
You make me nervous already.
Okay, go ahead and introduce yourself,
Listen,
Jose.
yes, my name is Jose Marrero. I'm a business person in Camden. And today I'm going to talk about my story. And I love Camden because I'm here. And I ain't moved nowhere else. I'm here almost 30 years in Camden. And this is my city.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. The famous Jose Marrero. So we know, all the things that you're doing right now, but let's take it back. Who was Jose Marrero before the businesses, before the nightclub, before all of the spotlight? Who was Jose Marrero?
I was a busboy in Penguin Diner. I know everybody from Camden.
Penguin.
Yeah, Penguin Diner.
Oh.
It was a restaurant in Pensauken.
Yeah.
So a lot of people from Camden, they know Penguin Diner.
Yeah, that's where we go to eat.
I was a busboy there. And from there, I saved my money with my mother and my stepfather, grocery store. I was working with my mom and my stepfather, and I worked in the restaurant. Saved money, and I bought my first house.
So your parents were entrepreneurs as well.
Yes.
And they came to New Jersey from Dominican Republic.
Yes.
And they opened up a grocery store. And
Yes.
from there, you learned the hustle, you learned the
Yes.
business, the entrepreneur spirit. You didn't just live, it sounds like you didn't just live off your parents, so you also went and got another job and was a busboy at Penn Queen. I know Penn Queen because every Sunday, my family, and we have a big family of Masons, we would go to Penn Queen and just have, break bread with one another. And so it was one of my favorite restaurants to go to, or diners to go to back in the day. But back to you as far as, being a busboy and then also learning, what would you say was the most important lesson from that time with your parents, and then seeing the transition and being resilient and starting a business?
It was kind of hard for me because at the beginning, I had no help, and I was thinking I had to grow my business. I was 18 years old.
So you were 18.
18 years
Because that was
old.
going to be my next question,
18.
because a lot of being in education as well, you see a lot of families that transition from other countries, Latina countries, and come, here. And one of the barriers is language, and being able to have those resources to access that's in their language. So I'm curious, with you not only learning from your parents, but how did you get educated on even being able to think about starting a business or being an entrepreneur?
I was not educated because I only went to 7th grade in school.
Wow.
So a lot of Dominican people, when they come from this country, they don't have too much education because our country is a poor country. It's hard to learn, a lot. So most of the people come here, they have 2 jobs, grocery store or going to a factory. So in my mind, I start my own business, like I bought my first house.
So talking about your first, right? Came over to New Jersey, you were 18 years old, you was learning the family business and just learning business overall. What was the actual first hustle? What was your first business?
No, when I came to this country, I was 9 years old. When I came to Camden, I was 18.
So where were you first?
New Brunswick.
New Brunswick.
New
Okay,
Brunswick.
still Jersey.
New Jersey.
I mean, North Jersey, South
So
Jersey. But
I bought my first house in my first 5th and Cedar.
Cedar Street.
Cedar Street. Yes.
My family too.
And my mom, my stepfather.
Cedar Street is North Camden, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
North Camden.
And I bought my first house right there with the help of my mother, my stepfather, and my brother. So I made it to a room when I have 10 rooms in that property.
So wait, so you found this house on Cedar Street because you said, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. You bought the house.
Yes.
And then you decided to take the house
A room.
from, how many rooms did it start with?
10.
So it started with 10
It was
rooms.
10 and 2 apartments at the bottom. So I had 2 apartments. I live in the bottom.
Right.
My brother live in the back.
But
and I
you
have 2
turned
rooms.
it into 10.
Yes.
But what did it start? Was it 3 bedrooms that it started out
It
with?
it was 3 floors, I remember.
Right.
And then it was 3 apartments. But I said, let me make it
into rooming.
a room.
Right. And then was that successful at that point in time?
I was making
And
money.
what were the type of people that were coming to get rooms?
People that don't have really no family. People live in the street, and I was renting a room to them. And
So is it with, it's with housing, right, and development, knowing that, Camden is also, moving forward as it pertains to the development of affordable housing, and what you know from before, and really being in housing but not really knowing it because you were just, being a businessman, do you see progress in the needs of housing, or do you feel like there's still that need as far as housing?
Camden need new houses.
Yeah.
And Camden, way back, When I came here, there was a bad city, real bad city. You talk about city, about houses was destroyed.
Right.
There was a lot of fires in Camden, and you have to live in Camden to know what Camden is about.
Right.
I know because I grew up here in Camden,
right.
and I saw everything was the past, and I see what's coming now.
Right.
So I'm so happy about Camden now. We're coming back.
Right.
And we come back strong.
So, let's talk about it. We've heard who Jose was in the past, who Jose is right now. And, right now, you have a lot of businesses, and you also have a lot of ventures, potential ventures as well, set up for the future in that space, right? And already having businesses. What are some of the setbacks that you've experienced? And then what are some of the setbacks that you're experiencing now?
From the past, I didn't have the knowledge what I have now. Because in the past, I used to do my own thing.
Right.
Well,
what made you think that you can, I want to talk about that too. What made you think that you can just do it your way?
It wasn't education.
Okay.
Education is good, and now I see the city is educating people how to open a business,
right,
and how to do everything legal,
right,
and right.
Right.
Back then, it was not too many people educate in Camden to show you what to do.
Right.
So that was my mistake.
Right.
So for now, I'm learning.
Right. Yeah, because we know that not knowing is ignorance,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And ignorance sets us back. And so, again, that's what this podcast is about, again, speaking truth to power, which means that we're empowering our community to be able to get those resources, to learn, to know all the things in Camden outside of that noise, And so just really thankful that you seen the vision and that you agreed to be my partner in all of this, and really today to share your story.
Listen, thinking about that, by the past, the city, I bought a house in 3rd and Bynum. You know how much I paid for the house?
How much?
$1.
How?
The city was giving the house for $1.
Right.
And they give you $1,000 to repair.
That is crazy.
No, it's
but
amazing.
I don't think it's not.
No,
it's not happening today.
And then look what happened. Nobody want to know house. Why?
That's why it was sold for $1.
And the city
but
gave back to you.
But you got a property.
The city was giving back to you $1,000 because the Camden was too dangerous before.
Right.
And people were scared.
Right.
But the people who live like North Camden, we wasn't scared.
Yeah.
Because the people was living there, that was part of our family.
Right.
But the people from the street, from outside, Cherry here, Pensacola, Philly, they were thinking Camden is the bad apple.
Narrative.
But
right.
it was not.
Right, yeah. So now, we've talked about how you started here in Camden, what you're doing now in Camden. What does Camden mean to you right now? I mean, it's obvious that you're invested in this, but what does Camden mean to you right now?
I was a poor boy in my country, real poor. And what I'm thinking about Camden now is I want to give back something to the community, because this is my house. This is my town.
Right.
And 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, I remember Camden only had one supermarket.
Right.
It was Cousin Supermarket.
Right.
And I said, Camden needs a supermarket.
Right. They need another one.
And I made a new supermarket in Camden, 21 and Federal Street.
Right.
I made a new supermarket called Fine Fair Supermarket. So
that's right across from the 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. I'm a type of person, like, I create a new thing what Camden need.
Right.
So that's what I do.
Well, one thing that I appreciate about you is that as you're looking in the community and looking at the needs, you're also seeing the opportunities for collaborations and partnerships, and you're not scared to collaborate or partner with anyone.
No.
You don't judge, you give everybody an opportunity. So I think that is something that, we really need to, express and get out there in the community that collaborations and partnerships are important. And that's something that you're also teaching me, through this journey is we have to work with people, we have to work with different cultures, we have to work with different entities in order for the progress to continue. So I want you to just talk a little bit more about that. I mean, let me also add that folks don't even know that you also have an entertainment company in Dominican Republic, and
here.
That is, and here, and that is, a big collaboration because you have to deal with so many artists. And again, bringing that to Camden and to our community, you're really like an expert in collaborating. So talk a little bit more about that.
My entertainment and music, this like my, what you call, it's my habit.
Yeah.
It's my, this is what I love.
Your passion.
The music.
Yeah.
In 1990,
Right.
1990, remember, it was no nightclub in Camden.
Right.
And I made it a new nightclub.
You say the first nightclub,
The first
right?
nightclub in Camden.
That's history
it
right
was
there.
at the River Road, 30 seconds in River Road. It used to call Casa Quiqueya.
Right.
Yeah.
Casa
Quiqueya.
Quiqueya.
Like the house of Dominican.
Okay. Quiqueya?
Quiqueya.
So Quiqueya's house?
No, Quiqueya is like Dominican. It's
So
if I say-
Casa is house.
Casa's house.
Casa
Is
Quiqueya. Okay. Okay. We learning Spanish on here and everything. There's no limitations as to what we gonna learn.
So I saw that, me and my stepfather, we saw that property. And then I started doing my event at Savoy nightclub, Route 73 in Pensacola.
Yeah.
Oh, it was also, I bring any artist from my country.
Yeah.
From Dominican, Mexico, and Puerto Rico. It's coming to Savoy nightclub.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is my, I love music, and this is my habit, and I'm trying to bring more entertainment to Camden. Maybe if the city give me the opportunity, I'm trying to, do something better.
Right. Yeah. So when it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be in Camden? And I know that that's a heavy question, but we all have what we want as the ending story. What is it? What do you want your legacy to be?
I want to be a person I can help another. I want to be a person like no matter what color it is.
Right.
My business, you see, is I'm like a supermarket. I love everyone.
Right.
And if anyone need help or little knowledge how to open a business,
Right.
or need anything to know,
Right.
I'm here.
I know. Last thing, before we close out on this interview for our co-host, is that when you talk about helping the community and continuing that, I also wanted to just mention that you do have a huge platform that you help a lot of people be able to send money over to their families in different countries. And so again, the Caribbean Mega Center, I started that off in your intro, like really talking about that. That is something that you have now. That is something that is continuing to help our families that are from other countries still have access to their families in those different countries.
Talking about Caribbean Mega Center this is my business for 30 years. And I went to New York one time and I see like a multi-service, they was sending money to the Dominican Republic because before was nothing in Camden.
So you had to go all the way to New York?
No, I went to New York to visit and I saw that.
Okay.
So the idea, I said, wow, I can bring the idea to Camden. So I was the first Dominican Latino in Camden that made a multi-service that people allowed to send money to the Dominican Republic, Mexico, Nicaragua. Because before, people send money, you know how?
How?
To the post office. It take 15 days.
Through mail?
To mail.
Wow.
It took 15 days to send money to the Dominican Republic.
Wow, we're going to talk more about that. But ending this segment, what is one piece of advice that you can give to another young entrepreneur out there?
Never say no to yourself. Anything you want to do, you can do it. So if you need help, look for the help. and be the person you're trying to be. Because no matter how it is, you can do it if you say yes. If you say no to yourself, you can't do it.
Right.
But I think it's a lot of opportunity here in Camden.
Right. So you have it there, folks, our co-host. There are no limitations. If you want to do something, do it. If you want to be something, be it. Those are the words and advice of Jose Marrero. Thank you so very much. Now, we still got work to do because we have to continue this podcast. But there, you have a little bit more knowledge about who Jose Marrero is. Now, let's talk about something that has been very heavy on my heart for the last couple of months. And, you know, I'm just going to get to it. Misinformation. That is the premises of this podcast, because the last couple of months, especially through like our campaign season, through, you know, our educational landscape with our superintendent, just a lot of things that are out there that was misinformation. And I feel like it's only appropriate for us to have that as our first discussion on our first episode of the Camden Strong Podcast. So, I mean, not just fake news in general, but the way the narratives got spun about Camden within Camden, sometimes from people that did not live here, but mostly from the people right here, you know? And I just feel like, and I think, you know, as a collective, we are the ones who create the narrative. And we have to take responsibility about what we're putting out there that is about us as a city, as a community. So I want that to be our first discussion, you know, like, what do you feel about?
Well, this is hard. People, they don't know how Camden was in the past. Camden is a beautiful city right now.
Yeah.
Compare what's the past.
Yeah.
So I think Camden is coming back, not 20%, not 30, not 40, 70% is Camden coming back. Camden right now is beautiful. Camden right now is no crime.
Right.
The police is doing a great job. The
Yeah,
fire
but
department.
the people, our community,
Talking-
some folks are not seeing it that way. And some folks are taking the tools, such as social media, such as news
Yes.
outlets, and they're putting out their perspective that may not necessarily be facts. It may not necessarily be the truth.
Just
you know?
remember, the news, they're always gonna put the bad thing of Camden, because you know why? The news wants to sell the news. You know, and when people hear bad thing, they want to see what was bad.
I just think right now,
You have
the
to-
news is giving more positive narratives.
Yes.
The negative narratives is coming from within. So we can no longer say it's the news. We can no longer say it's like those bigger media like CNN and say they're the ones saying that we're the worst city, because they're not, because they're seeing the progress, right? I feel like what we're seeing most is more inside. It's our neighbors, it's our family members. You know, like for an example, you know, I obviously is in different spaces within our city. And so one of the spaces is with local government, right? But I also have a nonprofit. And so being in a space of local government and running a campaign and competing for a seat does not necessarily mean that it has to be nasty. And so I experienced what I would call, you know, social media bullying, so to speak. And, you know, things were being splattered out there in the community about me, and I take pride in my reputation. I work hard. You know, I have a son, I have a family, I have to represent my community. I take pride in that and passion in all of that, you know. And so, you know, it was very, very difficult for me to sit there and see not only just about me, but my team, you know, and knowing and being passionate. Your team is like your family. So having to keep your mouth closed and not take up for your team because, you know, folks want to utilize their platforms to spew out misinformation, gossip, drama. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, it has to be passion. It has to be passion for you to continue that after you have people that look like you, that are in spaces like you, that say they're passionate about like you. How do you spew out and how do you, you know, use your platform to tear down somebody else? You know, and how do we get past that as a community? Because we still have more campaigns to run. We still have more businesses to grow. We still have more development. We still have so much. And before we can even get to collaboration, we have to face the truth. And there is a lot of misinformation that's out there. And I mean, that's why it's heavy on me because it hurt. It was probably the first time in the years that I've been in the space of local government, in the space of education, it probably was the first time in my career span that I felt hurt, angry, you know, that I felt like I had to keep getting pep talks from my mentors, from people like you to say you can keep going on the back end that people don't see. The sacrifices that we do, that we go through for the community, and to have people that's not even doing some of the work, you know, just gossip, talk drama. And I'm sure that has been even for you. I mean, it spills into everything. It shapes, information shapes everything. It shapes our lives. So I know that you've also experienced that too, as far as misinformation.
Yeah, when I go to eat, and I'm saying, where you from? I'm from Camden. Camden. They think Camden is the worst city in the United States.
Yeah.
No, Camden is not the worst city. Camden is better. It's beautiful right now. It's beautiful right now. You know, you see North Camden. Wow, I'm surprised to see like there's no people in the street no more. Back then, each street was a corner of a drug.
Yeah.
Not no more.
And you know, to that point, it's not that people are wrong or right, you know. I think everyone has their perception and everybody's voice matters. But where we get it mixed up is that we're not having these types of conversations. You know, everybody trying to dig up something. Everybody's trying to figure out why this person is getting this, why this person isn't getting that. You know, I feel like, you know, we're just at a point that we're hurting each other more than the outsiders. And it's stunting the growth, the progress. You know, we're still fighting because that's what Camden is. So in each of our little communities, in each of our little spaces, you know, we have those little progress. But can you imagine if it was a synergy amongst all? And what greatness could come? Because I have to give credit, you know, where it's due. Like, people are putting in that work, whether we see it or not, you know, and people that's not in the spotlight, people that's not a part of local government, these people are out here, and we're gonna bring those people here on this podcast, you know, and show what's being done, what has been done. And to your point, there's the past. And people live in the past, but the past does matter. It's our foundation. That's how we build on it. That's how we build up to the future. That's how we get to the sky. There's no limits, you know? And so, you know, I just keep thinking about those experiences, and I keep thinking about the experiences of my colleagues, and thinking about, you know, what is weighing down as a community that's stopping us from growing. And again, I just want this podcast to be that space to speak the truth, to speak facts. Like, and some things are not going to be comfortable for us, you know. Some things are not going to be, you know, the pretty, right, or the glory.
No,
but
our podcast is to tell the truth.
We got to tell the truth.
We're not going to be playing around and come here and be lying for stuff. No.
Right.
We and you, we're going to tell the truth.
Right.
And if nobody like it or like it, we're gonna say the truth.
Yeah.
That's what we're for.
And not just the truth, but we also want to bring the right resources.
Yes.
I mean, my educational platform is about equitable access. That means everybody is able to access what they're looking for in the educational realm as it pertains to schools. And so, we've seen, again, as in the past few months, we've seen how social media platforms, online platforms have really been a tool where people are getting information. And so, again, we don't talk about it, right? We don't sit there in the back, mope, cry, get angry. We become creative. And that's what this platform is doing. We're using our creativeness, we're using our expertise to be able to have one place that continues to build our strong community, Camden Strong. And that is what this is, the Camden Strong Podcast. So now, let's move into our next segment. We'll catch the flow of all of this as it goes. Again, this is our first one, so just kind of getting the flow. We would love to hear, you guys just let us know how you're feeling about all of this. Just give us some ideas, just give us some critiques. We're all for it. Again, this is about being able to build a platform that's for us, that is for all of us. So this is not just me and Jose, even though we're hosting this.
It's the whole city.
This is the whole city. We need everybody's help.
Yep.
If you have, an organization, if you have a business, if you have a company, if you're doing a project, anything like that, please reach out to us, and we want you to come on here, So again, this is Camden Strong Podcast, the whole entire community. So again, when we're talking about Camden, I just want to close out that segment. Every voice carries weight.
Yep.
So the call to action is, ask yourself, when you're posting, when you're talking about Camden or anything happening into Camden, are you adding to the noise or are you helping to clarify the truth? So make sure that you're following verified platforms, not just the big media as we spoke about. Look for people that's on the ground and in the schools and in the neighborhoods, and, make sure you're supporting our local media spaces, like we have podcasts that are out there. We have digital newspapers that are out there, grassroots reporters. And again, we're gonna bring these people and show you who's out there and putting in this work, not just the people that we see every day. We have to be able to acknowledge those people that may not want to be in the spotlight, but they're adding and they're doing the work in the community. It doesn't mean they don't matter, And again, use your platform, whether it's 50 followers or 5,000 followers. Be a source of truth.
Yes.
Be a source of truth. Would you agree?
Yes.
Listen, we're not just telling Camden's story. We got to protect it. So let's write it together with truth, with pride, and with power. Okay, Camden. Now, as promised, this is a platform that is just going to share everything that makes the heartbeat of Camden. And so for this last segment, and to take us out, I am proud and honored to introduce a great artist right here in the city of Camden, someone who brings soul, who brings truth, who brings power to everything he does, but you're going to get a taste of the art that he does through music. So for our guest artist, I am proud to introduce The Authentic.
Yo, mic check, 1 2 1 2. It's your man, Authentic, live and direct on Camden Strong Podcast with the one and only Tameeka and Jose. You already know it's your man, Authentic, representing CMD. Shout out to everybody throughout the city. Let's get right into it. This next track is Bridges. Let's go. Yeah. Check. 1 2 1 2 1. Check. Became a voice from out the wilderness, preaching truth and leading other soldiers too. Raising the environment, you go and do what you can do, but see it through. Own your place, we all got caught up in a race. Staring in the stars, wishing we can just fly out of space. I'm present here, but we can change. Destiny is now in range. If you missed a couple shots, you only sharpen up your aim. Now shoot again and play to win. Was echoing inside my head. Came up from the mud, other homies orange, yellow dead. I stayed on course, stayed on track, go forward, never going back. Whenever saw my soul just to come up on a couple racks. At any bands, take a stand. Purpose burning in my hand. Independent, do for self, not into working for the man. I had the odds stacked against, but I hustled just to get it. What we had to do it, so we always talked it and we lived it. The journey wasn't easy, climbed so many ridges. To reach my destination, had to cross so many bridges. Too deep and the sky is too tall. And if you never build, then eventually you fall. The journey wasn't easy, had to climb so many ridges. To reach my destination, had to cross so many bridges. Too steep, but you gotta heed the call. You gotta take a risk, so eventually you fall. The path we took was rough and we climbed so many ridges. To reach my destination, had to... I used to wonder who can I be, what can I do, and how could I get out of here? Searching for an exit route and started conquering my fear, and trusting that I knew God and He was built inside of me. Forgiveness for my wicked faults, new education was the key. Move and stack the next block. I'm building with a different mind, my motivation runs deep. I'm working with a different grind. I know it's time. Open shop, the alley taught me how to win. Guard your grill and knuckle up. Was raised so I can get it in. So many sins repented, so I bow my head and pray again. Train right in the battlefield and thrown into the lion's den. So many men and women too set a plot for my demise. I'm Maya Angel, running man. Eagles wings look still I rise, is no surprise. My moral code and ethics, you respect it. I'm coming from the corners where we taught to let that text spit. The neighborhood is starving, little kids is missing breakfast. So daddy on the corner with the Goonies living reckless. Protect us, the essence of a soldier writing with his blood. The revelation, living proof, second coming of the flood. The journey wasn't easy, climbed so many ridges. To reach my destination, had to cross so many bridges. And the sky is too tall, and if you never build, then eventually you fall. The journey wasn't easy, and we climbed so many ridges. To reach my destination, had to cross so many bridges. Risks are too steep, but you gotta heed the call. You gotta take a risk, so eventually you fall. The path we took is rough, and we climbed so many ridges. To reach my destination, had to cross so many bridges. All too deep, and the sky is too tall, and if you never build, then eventually you fall. The journey wasn't easy, and we crossed so many ridges. To reach my destination, had to cross so many. They say the risks are too steep, but you gotta heed the call. The path we took is rough, and we climbed so many ridges. To reach my destination, had to cross so many bridges.
Man, we all come to that point.
Thank you, brother.
Man, we all come
That was
to
nice,
that
man.
point.
Yes, as always, all
We all
love.
come to that point.
Camden, make sure you follow The Authentic on all the social media platforms and all of the music platforms. And remember, I'm Tameeka Mason, your host.
I'm Jose Marrero.
Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you like and share Camden Strong Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Sígueme en nuestra página de Camden Strong, Facebook, en Instagram, and YouTube.
We'll see you next week.
Te veo próxima semana. I think we did it, no?
Was that the one?
Yeah, I think we did it.